Stronger is always better. And on this week's episode of the Exercise is Health podcast, we're explaining why. We're going to cue our introduction and dive right into this conversation. Hey, welcome back, everybody, to the Exercise is Health podcast, brought to you by Muscle Activation Schoenberg. We're your hosts, Charlie
and Julie.
And today we're discussing this idea that stronger is always better. Even if your body's feeling achy, even if you have some orthopedic thing going on, even if there's a known structural abnormality happening within your body, stronger is always better. We want to let you know that if you want to start taking action on what we're talking about today, that's exactly what we can help you with at our studio, Muscle Activation Schoenberg, where we specialize in muscle activation techniques. And all you need to do to see our availability and get on our schedule is go to our website, www.matschoenberg.com, click the big green button that says Get Started, and you can schedule yourself for your initial MAT consultation and assessment. All right, so this idea of stronger is always better. It's something that we have talked around. It's something that we have talked about, definitely touched on a number of times. But the concept keeps coming up within different people that we speak to of like, well, I have this thing going on with a disc, or I have this thing going on with my knee, or I have this orthopedic issue going on. And because of that, like, it's okay if my strength just goes by the wayside because I need to focus on this thing right here. And we're here to say, pump the brakes. You actually need to, at least, the very least, be actively trying to maintain your strength, if not actively trying to build your strength, because at the end of the day, stronger is always better, and you're going to recover faster and get back to your normal sooner if your body is stronger.
That's right. Strength goes a long way. Stronger is always better, no matter if you have perfect joints, perfectly baby joints that everyone says is the perfectest, most joint, or you have pretty beat up joints with arthritis or, different ligament issues or a disc issue or whatever you have going in your joint. No matter how your joint is doing, stronger is always better. Reason being is strength, well, we're referring to strength like muscles functioning well, meaning they're getting the right neural input like we talk about with muscle activation techniques, and their ability to produce force is being maintained. That is with regular resistance training that we also talk about. So getting your MAT, getting in your regular resistance training is like the magical situation here. But we want to see that you're keeping the area strong, because really when you think about it, muscles are the only way that a joint is actively controlled, right? It's like your active controller. And the good news for you and me and everyone else is that muscles change very quickly. They adapt really quickly. Whereas like a joint surface, like your arthritis, changes very slowly. It takes a really long time. Muscles can change within one workout, one session, one, bout of input, of proper input. The reason why it's important that we are actively managing and promoting strength in all of your joints is that when there is strength and good control around a joint, remember, whether it's a perfect baby joint or it's a beat up joint that feels not good, is that you're going to make the environment more ideal for healing and staying healthy. So like, let's say you're like, well, I have like stage maximum arthritis in my joint. Should I really be doing knee extensions and knee flexions? Well, there are parameters, but the stronger you keep that joint, the better that joint is going to feel, because now the active supporters, the active controllers, the active off-weighters are active. They're doing their job and you're maintaining it, especially if you have something that is like labeled in that joint, because probably that labeled thing like arthritis or bursitis or a meniscus issue is creating more inflammation. And so that structure is now like telling your muscles like, do less. We want to be stiff and we want to be stiff and stable, which is like not moving, which doesn't feel good. And so keep having that positive input of strength into any joint is going to help it heal faster and keep the health of that joint as high as it can relative to whatever's going on.
Exactly. So there are some things about muscles that you need to understand. One is that your muscles are designed to protect your joints. They're designed to protect your joints from injury, protect your cartilage from injury, protect your ligaments from injury, protect the joint capsules, the labrums, everything that is surrounding the joint. Protect it from injury, okay? By being able to, as Julie was saying, not only actively like control the position of your joints, but actively be able to manage like the force that's going through the joints, okay? And so the stronger your muscles are, the better you're going to be able to do that by being able to withstand, more force going through the joint without it wreaking such havoc or taking such a toll on the joints themselves. So that's number one. Your muscles are designed to protect your joints and keep your joints safe. Number two is, more than that, your muscles are designed to keep your joints healthy. All right. There are two things that your joints need in order to stay healthy. They need to move and they need force going through them. Okay. Both of those things are absolute necessities in order for your joints to stay healthy, specifically the cartilage of your joints to stay healthy. So here's the thing. If you're not moving your joints, or if you don't have force going through them, your joints are going to deteriorate over time. They will get weaker, they will get more deteriorated, more compromised faster, okay? Your muscles move your joints, your muscles put force through your joints, okay? And when it is something that your body is doing itself, it's not happening haphazardly, all right? It's not like just random force going through your joints. Your muscles are positioned, like anatomically, to be able to put force across your joints in ways that are really good for your joints, okay? And so contracting your muscles isn't going to hurt your joints. It should protect your joints and keep your joints healthy. Here's the thing. When your muscles stop being able to produce as much force, either because neurologically there's some disruption or because like the muscles themselves mechanically have gotten weaker, your joints aren't as protected and your joints are less likely to stay healthy. So what's the remedy for this? Well, most people's remedy is looking at outside stuff to try to help support their joints, braces, wraps, orthotics, things like that, to basically take over for their muscles which have gotten weaker. An alternative would be to start getting your muscles stronger, actually helping to increase the strength of your muscles, which will help to increase the protection of the joint and over time increase the health of the joint. There's another aspect of this though. The other aspect is that there's a big neurological influence over muscle contraction. And that neurological influence also has a lot to do with what we perceive to be as pain, okay? And so the better your muscles are functioning and the stronger your muscles are, the less likely you're having these super sensitive pain receptors highly active and flared up and telling your body that it's hurting, that there's something wrong. And so most orthopedic stuff also has some kind of muscle / neurological influence when it comes to a sensation standpoint. When it comes to like, oh, my knee is really hurting me, and we want to just blame the structure of because of the arthritis, because of the ligaments, because of the bursitis, whatever it is, right? When in fact there is oftentimes a large influence of the nervous system and of the muscles that then end up creating a pain response. And so by having muscles that are stronger, it's less likely that you're going to experience that kind of pain response, even if the structure itself doesn't change. Even if you still have the ligament thing going on, the meniscus thing going on, everything else going on structurally, the muscles are strong, they're functioning well, there's going to be less likely that you have the symptom that we just want to blame on the structure alone.
That's right, Charlie. And I love what you brought up there at the end. It's like the strength is really important, even if like that structure doesn't change. Well, what's really cool is that so many people that have come to see us for MAT and training, the thing that they have labeled as the reason why they were being held back, like arthritis or bursitis or some nerve thingy they have going on or sciatica or whatever it is, we get them stronger, and that symptom is no longer there, and they realize like, oh, I was blaming that on the symptom or the nerve or the bursa or the labrum, but really it was like weak muscles and like lack of use, lack of conditioning. And so what's really cool is that if you start strengthening and you start feeling way better, then that is a really good sign. If you start strengthening and your strength is going up, you're progressing your exercises, or you're at least maintaining your exercises, you're doing more weight or more reps or more volume or a more progressed version of exercises, and your symptoms are not getting worse, that's also a really good sign. That means that, like, hey, I still have the arthritis, and I'm getting stronger, and I'm doing more with the knee. Because really, that's what leads to you living a life where you're like, hey, I can do what I want, even given my circumstances, right? So always be checking yourself, especially, well, I think it's easy, like when you feel like not that good and you start exercising, you're like, I feel amazing. It's like easy to know, like, great, exercise is working for me. MAT is working for me. But then a lot of people will question, like, hey, well, like, I have this thing, herniated disc, and I've got pain related to it, and my core, I keep progressing my exercises, but that discomfort is staying there. So is that okay? And that is okay. I would be shocked if down the road it doesn't start changing, because you've built enough strength to actually start making impact on that area. But the fact that you can have whatever you have going on, which, by the way, most people have some sort of orthopedic variation of normal, and when they get stronger, that is showing that they can handle more, their body's more resilient, they're ready to do more in their life, and that area is more protected when they do more stuff. So always be checking that. Again, if your symptoms change, it's an easy, people are always like, oh yeah, of course this is amazing. But then the question always comes up where it's like, well, is it fixing my problem? And usually fixing is what people call it when they had pain and then they don't have pain.
Symptom related.
It's symptom related versus like functional related. And so you still want to be checking, like, okay, I've got this, shoulder impingement, and I'm getting stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger, and I still feel like I have shoulder impingement, meaning the symptom is still there. Well, the good news is that you're getting stronger and doing more and progressing your levels at your shoulder, like your resilience levels, your conditioning levels, your strength levels, your input levels from your nervous system, and the symptom is not changing. So that's really cool. So both of those are really amazing signs of success. So no matter what you have going on, whether it's a perfect joint, a funky joint, and despite of whatever you have going on in your joint, stronger is always better. So keep working on that strength, keep hacking away. Listen to some of our previous podcasts if you're needing like the how-tos of like, how do I do my exercise for life principles? That's the way to keep things really safe and consistent, and make sure you're getting on the table for MAT.
That's exactly right. So I just want to leave you with this thought, this question that I want you to ask yourself is, if what you're experiencing orthopedically, something in the shoulder, something in the knee, something in the hip, whatever, do you think it would get better if you got weaker? Think about that. Do you think whatever you're experiencing would get better if you got weaker? Okay? Because if the answer is no, like weaker is not going to help me get better, then the only option going forward is to get stronger. It's really that simple, because there's no such thing as not strength training and maintaining your strength. There's no, unless you're 12 years old, 13 years old, 14 years old, and your body is on this natural rise, there's no such thing as not strength training and maintaining your strength. It doesn't happen. It just, in the world that we live in with physics and gravity, that doesn't happen. So the only option, if you're saying to yourself, well, if I got weaker, I wouldn't get better, then the only option is to at least attempt to get stronger, and that's through strength training. Now, a lot of people might be like, okay, well, I do, like, my knee's bugging me, and I'm doing this, this leg extension exercise, and it's really hurting my knee. We need to look at how it's being done. Like Julie said, that's where the exercise for life principles come in. All right, and there are ways. There is going to be a way that you can challenge your quads, strengthen your legs, that it's not bothersome to your knee. Or you also have to weigh the fact that, like, while you're doing it, it may be uncomfortable, but that's better than the alternative of your quads getting weaker. Because the truth of the matter is, like, if your knee is really bugging you, just wait until your quads get really weak and atrophied and see how much your knee is bugging you then. Because the muscles that are designed to support and protect the knee just got way worse. So maintaining your strength, actively trying to pursue increasing your strength is an absolute must. It's a non-negotiable, especially if you're having an orthopedic issue, because getting weaker is not going to solve your problem, which means the only option then is to at least actively be trying to maintain, if not improve your strength. And the only way to do that is going to be through consistently strength training. Okay, now how we go about doing that here at Muscle Activation Schaumburg, is this something you're interested in taking action on? Well, we're going to start with muscle activation techniques, because we need to make sure that your muscles that we're going to be strengthening with exercise are at least viable options for your body to use. And that's what we're able to identify and improve with muscle activation techniques, that communication between your brain and your muscles, so that when we go and exercise, we know all of your muscles are viable options. We're not overloading certain ones. We're not, creating more compensation or anything like that. And then we're able to appropriately load your system with strength training and build up your strength and function from there. So if that is something that you would like our guidance on, that is what we can help you with at our studio, Muscle Activation Schaumburg, where we specialize in muscle activation techniques. So again, all you need to do to see our availability and get on our schedules, go to our website, www.matschaumburg.com, click the big green button that says Get Started, and you can schedule yourself for your initial MAT consultation and assessment. All right, well, thank you so much for joining us, everybody. We always appreciate your eyes on YouTube, your ears on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, wherever you listen to our content, or consume our content, I should say. If you wouldn't mind leaving us a rating and review, it always means the world to us when you do. We are wishing you a fantastic week, and we'll talk with you all next week.
This podcast is for information purposes only. The statements and views on this podcast are not medical advice. This podcast, including Julie and Charlie Gates, disclaim responsibility for any possible adverse effects from the use of information contained herein. Opinions of guests are their own, and this podcast does not endorse or accept responsibility for statements made by guests. This podcast does not make any representations or warranties about guest qualifications or credibility. This podcast may contain paid endorsements or advertisements for products or services. Individuals on this podcast may have a direct or indirect financial interest in products or services referred to herein. If you think you have a medical issue, consult a licensed physician.